we will now discuss brain size and social cognition as possible evolutionary sequences. The first finding that brain size increased prior to vocal tract changes helps us to pin down the sequence of evolutionary events, but also raises an issue. This is important that the concept of social brain size was introduced by a British anthropologist, Robin Dunbar, who believes that the human intelligence did not basically evolve in order to address the ecological problem that one faces, but as a means to address or as a means to survive in large social groups. So according to him, basically the relative size of neocortex rose because social groups became large and people had the need to coexist and survive, and in order to have that, the brain size also expanded. Now, Dunbar believes that the human brain ratio, in order to cater to people, is something that it can actually cater to a size comprising of 150 people, which according to him is as good as clans. So basically, the size of the brain grows as your size of a social group grows. Now, that is why did brain size increase? That is what selective pressure led to this development. And Dunbar has pointed out brain size has costs as well as benefits. And now this is something that we will discuss. As I have just mentioned, that Dunbar was the one who proposed this idea of brain size and thinks that it is a social cognition phenomena. He also suggests that brain size may have increased in relation to group size. Group size, which means that as the group size grows, and which also can grow to cater 150 people, and that kind of number actually is as good as of a certain tribe or clan. Now, he suggests that in absence of any selection pressure, larger brain will not evolve. So if people do not have a pressure of coexistence or having a lot of people around, the brain will not evolve in that situation because the brain will not have a pressure. Dunbar suggests that brain size may have increased in relation to group size in a sense that as our evolutionary ancestors began to congregate in larger groups, the mechanisms of group cohesion and regulation began to change. That is, we need a mechanism to hold the larger social group together. With smaller group, grooming serves this essential function, and grooming is pervasive feature of several non-human primates, including chimpanzees. With larger groups, some form of communication may have evolved to play this role. Dunbar claims that language evolved to meet this need by enabling one member of the species to communicate with many members of the group simultaneously. Then there is some evidence to support this view as well, as social group size correlates very closely with the size of the neocortex in primates. On the basis of the size of the human neocortex, in fact, Dunbar predicts human group size of approximately 150. And this number tends to turn out fairly frequently in human affairs. For example, if one took the number of people attending weddings and funerals and averaged them, the number would come to 150. Then we have another area that as group size increased, social cognition, which is the ability to understand other people, became more important. One particular aspect of social cognition that has been studied is called a theory of mind, which refers to the ability to view another as an intentional being. For example, if I give present to someone, he or she may be pleased but also be suspicious about my intention. Whether or not he or she is correct, the ability to interpret another person's action as an intentional act is part of what makes us human. Moreover, it has been connected that non-human primates lack such a theory of mind. With regard to our evolutionary ancestors, the social cognition hypothesis is that language evolved as bonding device. Larger group sizes led to larger brains, including brains more capable of inferring the intentions of others. Dunbar's view provides an interesting and plausible explanation of why language evolved. Now, according to this view, social pressure is the driving force behind language evolution, and large brains lead to more capable interpretation of intentions and inferences.